more money, less taxes, more freedom, more free stuff. These are some of the topics that are important to voters across our nation. Of course, each voter has their own reasons or even agendas as to why they vote the way they do. However, according to polls from elections since 1997, the majority of actual voters are over the age of 35. It is very important for you, as the youth of America, to help shape the nation you will live and work in. In 1996, only 32% of college students aged 18 to 24 voted in the presidential election, followed then by 36% in 2000 and 46% in 2004. The evidence points to the fact that the youth of America are starting to get more involved in voting, but in 2008, which was a historical election that supposedly would be won by the youth vote, only 48% of 18 to 24-year-olds voted. That is only 2% higher than in 2004. It is even more important for Hispanic youth to vote because according to campusvote.org, Hispanic college students are less likely than white or black students to register to vote. In 2010, just under 42% of Hispanic college students registered to vote compared to over 56% among white students and 55% among black students. Registration is key to turning out college students. In 2008, of the 18 to 24-year-old college students that registered to vote, 87% actually voted. That means 13% of college students did not partake in the most precious freedom we have as Americans, the ability to elect those that we align most closely with to influence the landscape of our nation and society. Now, many students think that their vote is only one vote and that it will not matter if they actually show up to the polls or not. This could not be further from the truth. Even if your candidate does not win, you can guarantee that politicians and action committees are paying very close attention to voter groups and turnout in order to get more votes the next time around. Every vote truly does count, even if it is simply to solidify an opposing view that may eventually one day become the leading view. Did you know that as a youth voter, you make up nearly 20% of the voting populace? That is a powerful political force. Sadly, though, it's been proven that even though the youth make up 20% of the voting populace, it's the older population that actually get out and vote. Do you think this is because they know more than you do? Or perhaps that they have learned in their lives that voting is very important? While young people make up a large portion of voters, they're much less likely than those who are older to get out and vote. In the 2004 elections, 70% of those between 45 and 59 voted, 73% between 60 and 64, and 69% of those aged 75 and older. It's not hard to guess that the needs, desires, beliefs, and values of those generations might be pretty different than the youth vote. And the significant high numbers of older Americans who come out to vote may be skewing presidential choices and legislation away from the needs of young voters. If young voters want candidates to cater to their needs, they need to get out and vote. There's no other age group in America that is as diverse as the young voters, making the demographic perhaps one of the best voices for political candidates who will cater to the needs of more than just one group. According to bestcolleges.org, currently 61% of young people are white, 17% are Hispanic, 15% are African American, and 4% are Asian, and the remaining 3% are a mix of Native American descent. With diversity only growing in the United States, it makes sense for this highly diversified group to actively participate in decisions that will affect everybody. Participating in politics is a hard-won right in our nation, but it's one that Americans of all ages don't freely exercise as often as they should. Building a relationship with the political process early on is key to making a lifelong habit. If you've always voted in elections, you'll be much less likely to skip a vote in the future. This sort of habit-forming participation is key if we're to create laws and elect leaders who represent the needs of both the young and old alike in our country. In this day and age, there is no excuse not to vote because you don't know enough about the candidates. Social media sites, blogs, YouTube, and even the candidates' own websites provide ample material for learning about the positions that the politicians hold on just about everything under the sun. This civic education isn't just beneficial in the months leading up to the election, but can also motivate young voters to stay involved and to know more about the political process that affect their lives every day, even if they're not aware of it. Choosing a president or even a senator isn't something that just affects your life right now. You may not think college debt, whether you attend a public school or a private school, is a big deal while you're still in school, but you will feel differently when you're struggling to pay it back. Adult life brings many new challenges like marriage, buying a house, paying for your own health insurance, and for some, even starting a business, all of which might just change your perspective on political issues. While you can't predict who or where you'll be in 4 years, you can make political decisions that may make your life easier and even better in the coming months and years. Speak up, make a choice, and take part in the election to protect yourself today in your first few years in the real world. More money, less taxes, more freedom, more freebies. Whatever your priority is, or your view, your values, shape our nation by getting out and voting.